It's hot hatch time, 300 horsepower with the all-new Cupra Leon. The Leon available as Seat and Cupra. This one here, the performance version with the Cupra logo, tribal alike, copper accentuations. Headlamps come LED as standard, matrix LED not available yet, and a very strong lower spoilers, and Desire Red is the striking color for today. And also coming up, Insta360 1R, a camera test of these action cams in our driving part. This will be very interesting. The length here, 4 meters 40 or 173 inches, typical hot hatch styling, here with a very strong C-pillar. The platform is being shared by the VW Golf and the Skoda Octavia. However, here the long wheelbase version together with the Octavia, you only have the long wheelbase with the Golf if you go there with the variant with the Estate. The normal Golf hatch and the Audi A3 have the short wheelbase. That's very interesting and will have an effect here on the rear seating. The Cupra again with the bigger wheels, soon take a deeper look at that. And then the contrasting side mirrors right there. And this color once again works very well with the dramatic design lines. And the Cupra Leon comes standard with 19-inch wheels. Look at that, really striking styling. Different styles are available. This one here, again, with copper accentuations and some kind of aerodynamic form. And in the background here today, the beautiful River Rhine in Germany. And it's nice scenery here. And well, we had sunshine, really hot temperatures and also rain. That's nature. And here, the striking light strip that goes from left to right. This is a very beautiful signature right there. And the exhaust here in the Cupra Leon, is that for real? It looks really cool. But alert for the Autogefuehl fake exhaust police. Because when you look on the inside, there are real ones and actually 4. But this is kind of enhanced by the air goes through, but I think still a case for the fake exhaust police, isn't it? And the 2-liter TSI here makes 300 horsepower. This 4-cylinder engine in 5.7 seconds is the acceleration figure. Front-wheel drive, an all-wheel drive version is also available with the ST only, with the Estate, then 310 horsepower and the all-wheel drive. Door closing sound, very solid. That's the inside of the doors here, soft touch, and also even softer right here in leather red. And then the Cupra steering wheel with the Cupra button to access the racer mode. And on the right side, you start and stop the engine. And yes, no capacitive BS. Here still real buttons to control the cruise control and so on. Copper accentuations at the air vents and also here at the floor mats. The sports bucket seats right here come with fabric on the inside and leatherette on the outside, so animal free indeed. If you search the Alcantara, that has gone into the Seat branding now. So a Seat Leon offers Alcantara, whereas the Cupra Leon goes with the fabric. The Alcantara looks a little bit fancier, but the fabric is also quite good because it's quite breathable. Still, an Alcantara option also for the Cupra Leon would still be nice. Digital instruments, let's light them up. Yeah, there we go. Woo, brum, brum. There you can see the RPMs on the left side, right side with the speed. And you can also change the view, for example, have assistance systems view, or then here the map all over the place. So a Seat Leon would start with the 8-inch screen. The Cupra here gets the 10-inch screen as standard. This is like the base main menu. So you can, for example, click here to get to the GPS. And here we go. And you can see it depends on the online connection sometimes also. It could be a little bit more responsive. Since the most recent software upgrade, this system has become better. The very first Leons were not that good actually, but now meanwhile it's better. Here you can check out, air conditioning as well directly in this menu, for example. Still, here that you control the temperature right there, and it's also not illuminated. And here the volume, don't think that's good. Volume you can still do at the steering wheel, that's better. But for the climate control, I'm really not happy with that. Would have wished for a better solution. This is another main menu that's available. You can go for the air conditioning menu right here and have the vent strength, for example. Yeah, but still, this is not my favorite solution. Is it yours? So let's try to connect the Apple CarPlay wirelessly right here. So without a cable, you can put in the cable. That is possible, but you can also do it wirelessly like this. Here we go. And the Beats sound system is actually quite decent in here, so why not? And on the left side you still see the AC information, but here the integration is actually quite good. In the lower area with 2 USB-C chargers, inductive charging mat for your phone, then shift-by-wire DSG shifting lever. That saves a lot of space, so there's no mechanical link. The space is fitting for your key. Oh yeah, easy off button. Gonna use that, right? Sometimes. Then the cup holders, non-adaptive though, but 2 different sizes. So, and then here we have some more space with a 12-volt power supply. And seating position, sporty indeed, and with 1.86, a 6-1, still enough headroom left. And usually I put the seat a little bit higher to have a better angle. And the steering wheel control, manual, but very solid how everything feels and so on. So it's indeed a good build quality. But is it better build quality than the previous generation? I would not say so. And in the rear you have enough legroom. That's a step forward if you compare it to the previous generation. So really very spacious here in the rear with this longer wheelbase now. And you can also have a look through the panoramic roof. And headroom in the rear, even very good. So for 4 tall adults, it's really a nice vehicle to use. 2 USB-C chargers in the rear, and the floor mats also in the rear have this carbon fiber fabric stylus. Of course, not really carbon fiber, but it has this is carbon fiber styling actually. And then we have a trunk view for you. You could see, you can very well use it with the backpack and the cabin trolley. And the length here is about 80 centimeters or a little bit more than 30 inches. And with the seats down, we come over 60 inches or more than 150 centimeters. Holy moly, I really felt like a swirl of heat coming from that launch control when AJ launched it. Whoa! Welcome to our driving part. Thomas and AJ joining you here. And we can change the driving modes. This is a normal driving mode, sport mode, we already hear it, and Cupra mode. This is the sportiest one, and yeah, I guess the best one also here for the motorway. The road is a little bit wet, so we see this is front wheel drive only model. How this one performs then here, yeah, that's just hammered, I would say. Okay, this car pass, and then let's go.
Oh, wheel spin.
Little bit. Woo!
That's
but
nice.
yeah, it really picked it up, and the sound is actually quite nice. I mean, they use this sound actuator here on the inside, but I mean, why not? You know, we also heard from the. It's not too bad from the outside either. So.
I'm all for sound actuators because, let's be honest, it's for guys like you and me and our viewers, the car nerds out there who want to hear the sound. And people outside you, for them it's probably a nuisance. So pump the sound inside, you know? Don't pump it out.
Yeah, and we also appreciate the noise insulation, you know. But recently actually felt that the new Peugeot 308 has a better noise insulation than the Leon. That was quite astonishing. The Leon is not good, not bad from noise insulation, you know. But
exactly.
Here now on the motorway, it could be a little bit more silent actually.
Definitely, with the rain and the pattering of the raindrops, it is quite loud. I have to raise my voice just to talk to you. So
exactly,
sound insulation, not the best.
Yeah. So now let's do 100 to 130. Let's see, and that was, and that's already wow. That, I mean, that was really a nice kick when we were already at speed and there was still some power reserves left. So this Cupra mode tunes this 2-liter 4-cylinder really to higher stakes. So that's really nice. I also like the ambient lighting there, right? Look at that.
I do. Whenever I drive a Cupra, like the Formentor, I also felt like I was in some kind of an alien spaceship, you know?
Yeah.
You have that tribal art logo, that copper accents, and with this kind of canyon on the top, it feels like I'm driving some kind of, you know, from some Marvel character's evil spaceship or something.
Yeah, it really works, like, to make this car more emotional. So I think that's really cool. And I mean, I love to have still the manual buttons here for the cruise control at the steering wheel. Mm-hmm. That's really important. But then I talked about, you know, in the interior part, and I think we kind of agree that, like here with the temperature dials and so on, and
it's
why?
Not backlit. The icons are way too small. The seat heating, you know, button is all the way over there. I can't call it a button.
Yeah.
It's a touch place.
touch place.
Is so far away. If you know what the real term for that is, I'm sure there's an actual term. But I really don't think this is a safe kind of method. I get it. It's cost saving. It's easy to scale. But yeah.
That took a while, the downshift, right? Yeah, that took a while. Like this. Yeah. But I mean, of course, I don't put the EC Sport now when it's wet and so on, but still the car is hooking up quite well, although it's front-wheel drive only, so the electronic stability control and the traction control there in the front, they're working very well, so you can also have a good acceleration even when the road is wet. There is this all-wheel drive version with the Estate, has a little bit more power, and of course, due to more traction, is also fast in acceleration, less than 5 seconds, whereas we're about 5.7 here with this one. Yeah. Would you go for the all-wheel drive version, or would you go for this one here?
I would go for the all-wheel drive version, and this is the same that we saw in the previous gen, where Seat offers the Cupra with the Estate only as all-wheel drive. I think 300 horsepower is a really healthy amount. I mean, in the GTI, generally you get 245. So I think you want to have that all-wheel drive capability, and I think there's a little bit better balance there, and you can put that power to the ground better. But just coming back to that interior design like we were talking about, one other thing that I really like about this ambient lighting is it also mimics the blind spot monitoring.
Yes, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So
what I don't like is that the seat belt doesn't adjust for height.
Yeah, was it in the generation before? Maybe some of our viewers know that from his or her Leon. But indeed, that could be something again with with the space saving, cost saving. Sorry, yeah, space saving. It's the opposite. We have more space now in this generation. Now there's the car. There it is. There it is. That's really nice. So great integration of this blind spot monitor. I was waiting to keep it car on the lane here because the other one was coming. Now we're getting off.
On the mirror is actually just, I saw right now, it's just the indicator, so the turn signal which blinks. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, chassis-wise, really great again. Really stiff in this, MQB generation. So everything that is presented to us hardware-wise, that driving agility is really superb. Also the steering feel, really finely tuned. You have, control over the car in any situation, even when it's a little bit wet here now. I'm feeling super controlled, super safe, and this is really just a joy. I mean, you see that exhaust? Yeah, exhaust crackles and pops. That's really nice. And I think the steering feel is the favorite thing here for me in the vehicle. So, there's no dead zone area at all, and lane change here at higher speeds. This feels super natural and really a lot of fun. Definitely really cool.
I think also this is the longer wheelbase, right? So it's a bit longer than the Golf GTI.
Yeah. There's a Golf and the A3 have the shorter wheelbase, and the Leon and the Octave the longer one.
Right.
The Golf only when you go for the variant, for the Estate, then it does have the longer wheelbase actually. But I mean, to the previous generation, it still feels super sporty in the hot hatch version. So it's not that, it has lost a lot due to the longer wheelbase or something. It's also good with the DCC here, the adaptive suspension, and that gives us, of course, a little bit more flexibility. We're stiffer here now in the sports mode and the Cupra mode, but still it's really comfortable from suspension, so that's no issue at all. 80 to 120 up the hill, woo!
You can definitely hear a lot more of that turbo, but that sound actuator, that resonator, brings that induction, that firing sound back into the cabin. It's nice.
Did you see that, guys? Maybe from the camera up there. So there was actually this. I wanted to show you the acceleration and want everyone to see like how fast it's going. Then there was like eco tip. Leave the lever in D for better fuel economy. Like, why in this situation? It's like in the Cupra mode. Why? Eco tip, okay, but not in Cupra mode, shouldn't appear there, right? Yeah, I don't know. But how you guys like the cameras, by the way? The Insta360 1R, we got 2 of them, so we got all over the cameras here today. I hope you enjoy also the perspectives, and check out the video description if you want to see more of these cameras. And now I want to see AJ driving. We still have a nice part coming up where it's a little bit more in the winding countryside road. Yeah, AJ on the move. Did I mention I'm a bad co-driver? But AJ got everything under control, man.
This does feel very tight, like you were saying.
Yeah. What do you think about steering?
That's a good question. So, mean, we know this platform really well. We know what kind of systems they put. We know that progressive rack. We're very familiar with it. So it's a very familiar feeling, but I think I would have liked a little bit more feedback. I would have loved to feel it dance around a little bit more. I would have loved to feel, you know, all these little undulations, any groove or trough in the road that the wheels start following. I have a feeling because they've put this really heavy-duty axle in terms of that electronic differential to tame that 300 horsepower, maybe some of that feedback is lost in that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
could it be possible?
Differential, it's the XDS, which is standard, and also here for the vehicle, the DCC adaptive suspension is also standard for the Cupra, by the way. So you actually get a fair, decent package actually. So, I mean, we could still, you know, go to ESC Sport mode or completely deactivate ESC, but we'd rather do it when it's dry road. Yeah. So maybe then you get a little bit more, you know, playing around feeling, kind of like that. But I agree, 300 horsepower just on the front axle can always be some kind of a problem, but when you have all the electronic in place, you know, I think they manage it as good as possible. Let's take it that way. You know.
I also like the shape of these paddle shifters. They're a little bit taller. They have that same kind of gunmetal gray finish as the steering wheels. Yeah. So it feels a little bit more special. It gives you a sense of occasion. I think it's really important for cars like this to make you feel like that. So anytime you're driving to work or just, you know, on an evening or a Sunday, it should bring about that sense of occasion that makes you want to get out and drive it. I love motorcycles, and I think every motorcycle, okay, not commuter motorcycles, but every motorcycle it's all about the sense of occasion. And honestly, because we use cars for much more mundane activities, you know, getting groceries, driving to school, so on and so forth, it's easy to lose that sense of occasion. And that's why I think cars like this are important in today's world.
Yeah, every roundabout you have is really a lot of fun. You feel that really stiff chassis, that it's pretty cool. And the seats are really holding me tight, you know, also as co-driver, that's important. I mean, we all know it, especially now where, you know, when we have our girls on the co-driver, say something like, "What are you doing, AJ? What are you doing, Thomas?"
Exactly.
It's really good to have, you know, seats that really hold you tight. The fabric surface together with the strong bolstering here at the side, it really feels very well, really secure as well.
Yeah, I also like the seating position. It's of course I like to have my seat all the way down. The central transmission tunnel, or this console, is a bit pretty tall and
hard as well. Right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard as well. And then because you put your knee against it after a while, it can tend to get a little bit uncomfortable. Visibility is also pretty good, I would say. You know, especially going around these little village streets to make sure you're not hitting any of the curbs. It's easy to place the front of the car.
We're not moving away from the Cupra mode, by the way. It's just so much fun driving in the Cupra mode, right?
Yeah, and you're right. Even on these bumpy streets, the chassis is stiffer, but the dynamic chassis control doesn't just change the rate of compression and rebound. It's continuously varying that, but in different programs.
Yeah, it's just
wheel spin.
Yeah,
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
It spun, and then it gripped, and then you could feel that. Oh, torque steer too. Plenty of torque steer. But the chassis is really good. That engine is very lively. Even for a turbocharged engine, there's a lot of power on the top end.
Yeah, I mean, I would say really like excellent everyday racer, definitely. You can, by the way, also compare to the Golf R with all-wheel drive, and now also torque steer in the rear. The Leon does not offer that, but the Cupra Formentor does offer that torque steer.
Torque split.
Like a torque split. Yeah, and of course we already have a video of the Cupra Leon ST as the hybrid, because when you say like, I don't need a typical hot hatch version, rather go like for this, you know, subsidized budget thing, because in Germany it's way cheaper now going for plug-in hybrids because of taxation and so on, so this could also be something you should go for. But I mean, this one here, although the all-wheel drive version is quicker, this one here kind of is like the purist racer approach, you know, the typical hot hatch 300 horsepower version. That might still something.
I will contest you on that, because I think a purist hot hatch should be a little bit less powerful, because then you're really able to you're really able to put down all that power without the need for this brake base torque vectoring, electronic differential, or any kind of this mumbo jumbo. And in this kind of a power output with this kind of a the powertrain, you need a drivetrain which is able to put it down and make the most of it. And that's why I still stand with my initial comment that I would take the all-wheel drive version. I think this chassis and this engine really needs it.
Or there's also this Cupra GTI version now available with 245 horsepower, now also available for the Cupra Leon. Maybe this could be something. Yeah, or then again, Golf R going all the way with the all-wheel drive. Or then maybe the hybrid if you don't need like the most power, but rather want this, compromise or something. But yeah, sound-wise here, still a lot of fun.
It's very bassy, you know,
yeah,
for a
great
2
ride,
liter.
yeah, definitely.